Hello and welcome. Pushed the button too early then. Welcome, fantastic to have you here. Welcome to Nuts and Bolts. Got a great session on today. This is around how do we lead in this present day. So we've got the coronavirus has taken over. Everybody has got some heightened anxiety. Things are changing really rapidly in our world. And it's about, as a leader, how do we handle that? How do we determine what we need to do around that? So there's a couple of things that we need to think about. So one thing is a lot of workplaces now are finding that they're leading teams remotely, like people are working from home now, which puts on a load of different issues that you've got to work through, right? These are barriers that you wouldn't normally have when you're face to face. So we're just going to talk about how to lead a virtual team or how to lead a team remotely, because if you haven't done that before, there's a few tricks of the trade that you've got to try and instill in yourself so that you can set yourselves up for success, because we don't know how long this is going to be, right? So let's try and work out what that looks like. So if you find out your work has said, right, everyone's working from home, you're all working virtually. If this is something new to you, it might feel a little bit scary. What I want you to do, if you haven't been told that yet, prepare yourself. So how do you prepare yourself? Have a meeting with your team. Talk to them about their goals. What do they want to achieve over the next couple of weeks? What's a priority? Go around one by one and say, okay, what do we have to think about if we all have to work from home? If you haven't had this meeting yet, really, really important to do so. Get the discussions out on the table. Some people might have higher anxiety because they've got young kids at home and they don't know if they've got the space. Some people might just be anxious because they might be in a vulnerable position in this particular instance. They might have illnesses or whatever. So there's lots of things that you need to get out on the table early if you can. Right, so you're having that conversation, you're talking about the goals and aspirations, you're talking about what people are concerned with, you're talking about how are you going to communicate going forward. Are you going to touch base? Because let me tell you, after having my own business, working remotely at home brings up all sorts of different things. You feel a bit isolated, especially if you've got personalities that are extroverts on your team. They're going to feel quite disconnected. So it's about how do we ensure that doesn't happen? How can we keep that connection in together? So what I want you to do is, if you are working from home, things that you've got to remember: regular check-ins, video if you can. So whether that's Skype, Zoom you can do free. So there's all these platforms that you can use for free that'll give you that opportunity to have that face-to-face connection. Really, really important. So if you've got remote teams, maybe first thing in the morning, 9 a.m., we all dial into a video and say, what are we going to do for the day? I'll tell you what that does. It's more than just connecting with others. It gets people in their morning routine. So they'll get out of bed at normal time. They'll have a shower at normal time. They'll get dressed at normal time. They'll go for their walk or have their breakfast or whatever it may be, because that routine is really, really important. You know, when I was working from home and a sole trader, you know, it'll be 2:00 in the afternoon before I get changed or have a shower. And then it just puts you in this real rut. Okay, so it's really important to keep that routine going. So regular video check-ins if possible, possibly daily. Only has to be 15 minutes, but get them sort of trying to connect in with each other. Number 2, really clear set goals. So obviously priorities might have changed with you. There'd be different things that you need to connect with. So what are those goals? Make sure everybody really, really is clear on what they're doing at home. What projects are they working on? What tasks are they working on? When does it have to be completed by? What depth do they have to go into? You know, what investigations do they have? What stakeholders meetings do they have to do? You know, all those sorts of things. Make sure they're really set in place. And then what you would do as a leader, you would determine the needs of your team. So you're going to have people that, you know, when you're face to face, that they're fine. They don't really need to speak to you very often, but remotely they might struggle. So the needs of your team is going to change. So what are you going to do to make sure that you're meeting the needs of your team? You need to have a one-on-one with each of your team members and go, what do you need from me? I'd love to connect with you. How often do you want to connect in? We're going to connect in as a team every morning for 15 minutes at 9 a.m. What else do you need from me? So make sure you have those conversations quite regularly for however long this time goes for, because we don't really know, do we? And more importantly, you have to take care of you. Okay, so this is really, really important, because you can't be a great leader, a great husband, a great wife, a great dad, a great friend, all those sorts of things, unless you take care of you. So some really good things to be aware of in these times is watch your own levels of stress and anxiety. How are you going with that? Do you need to speak to someone? Are you okay? Have you got questions? What do you need to do to get yourself in a state of mind that you feel like you can move forward with? The second thing is keep yourself into a routine. So if you find yourself working from home, keep yourself in that routine. Make your lunch the night before. Have a shower first time, as soon as you wake up. Go for your walk. Do whatever your morning routine is. Keep that up, okay? It's really, really important. Make sure you block out some time in your calendar to do stuff. So, make sure you still have your lunch breaks, and you still have, if you go for a run at lunchtime or whatever that may be, make sure you still do those things. Really, really important in this particular time frame to be able to do those. So try and keep those routines going as much as you can. Don't get if you find yourself falling in a rut because you're not getting that face-to-face connectivity, then what can you do to make that happen? Get on the video, get some friends on the video, whatever you need to do. But take care of you. So I hope that helped in this time of change that we're going through currently. That things are going to change. We're going to have to be able to be agile and be able to flex, with the changes that are coming through. You can do it. We know we can do it. We just have to prepare ourselves as much as we can, and prepare your team as well. So I hope that helps. I'll tune in next week, and maybe we'll do some more tips and hints with regards to this dynamic VUCA environment that we're in, and we'll talk about resilience. Okay, so make sure you keep what you need doing. Keep your movement up, keep your nutrition going, make sure you're hydrated, get enough rest, all those things to set you up for success, and hopefully we'll get through this together. All right, no worries. You have a fantastic rest of the week. Keep safe, everyone, and we'll catch up with you next week. Cheers. Bye.